Story 1: Intrusive thoughts and self-loathing. Our D-Day was probably 6 years ago or so. My wife had to tell me that she had tested positive for an STD because she had, for some time, been carrying on numerous affairs and hooking up with random guys. I had suspicions but was happy to keep my head in the sand at the time. She also revealed she was in a fairly serious relationship with a coworker. I don't care to reveal too many details, but after numerous talks and some very earnest admissions and reconciliation on her part, we have stayed together. In the past few months, however, a lot of behaviors of hers that lead to my original suspicions have resurfaced. We have talked about it. I explained to her my feelings and concerns. There are certain things that trigger a sort of PTSD response in me. When I confronted her, it was an unpleasant conversation but a productive one. For my part, I have told her that I trust her. I have told her numerous times since D-Day, that if there are things she wants or needs that I can't provide her, we can have had that discussion. My point to her has always been that I don't deserve to be lied to. I don't deserve to be disrespected. If she wants to be with someone else, talk to me. We can discuss polyamory or other arrangements that allow her what she may need. That hasn't happened. Therefore, as a person of my word, I have let it be. But I still have intrusive thoughts. So, on a day like today when she comes home about 3 hours late from work dressed much sexier than she normally ever dresses for her office job, my mind goes to bad places. Especially when we haven't had anything close to sex since before Christmas, and even that was somewhat perfunctory and dispassionate. I have about zero confidence. I genuinely feel like my wife is the only woman on this planet who is capable of finding me attractive. So, I have a somewhat vested interest in keeping our partnership together. So, I feel like if I tell her how I feel, it shows her I don't actually trust her, which isn't the case. The case is just that I have these terrible thoughts I can't control. I suppose I don't have a specific question or anything. I just needed to get these words out of my head. I am trying to find a therapist, which I hope will help me further along. Until then, I appreciate y'all reading this, and if you have any feedback or coping mechanisms that may help me. Reader comment: I'm sorry but you're just lying to yourself. If you really trusted her, you wouldn't snoop, you wouldn't have those thoughts just because she comes late. Trust in your relationship is broken, you're trying to justify your behavior but deep inside you know you're just afraid because, as you said, you have zero confidence. I really think a therapist could help you. To find your self-worth, to have enough confidence to put some boundaries and talk to her. Without communication, a relationship doesn't work. And I'm sure, deep inside you, you don't want to leave a life like that, you're still hurting. Good luck. Reader comment: she is your problem. You understandably don't trust her, and it sounds like you are not equals in this relationship. You sound desperate. What has she done to address her behavior? Until you come to a resolution, and in your case, this means not pandering to her needs but your own. You are clearly depressed and do need skilled help. Please start to focus on yourself. Your happiness cannot be conditional upon satisfying her needs. The folk here have been where you are, so listening up. Reread what you have posted. This is not you, you are a man of substance. Your wife has ground you down. People who cheat on this scale rarely change. She only stopped cheating because she had no choice. She knows you are broken and has probably taken her cheating underground. Please read the survivor's manual, Lose a Cheater, Gain a Life. Reader comment: yes, you need to find a therapist ASAP to learn the following. 1. Why on earth would you trust her? Did she go the extra mile in repairing the relationship? It isn't evident from anything you wrote how any of her behaviors were addressed and changed. 2. Her cheating is her responsibility. She broke it and only she can fix it. Your feelings of insecurity are not misplaced, indeed, they sound quite rational. Her cheating has nothing to do with you and everything to do with her. 3. Rug sweeping doesn't work. Just saying, "Oh sorry, my bad, won't do it again," doesn't fix anything. Indeed, it will embolden her in the future. She has to make a full disclosure of everything she did along with proposals of how she plans to make amends and regain your trust. 4. Reconciliations fail more often than not. And reconciliations without contrition fail almost 100% of the time. I wish you luck. Story 2: D-Day was today and she left. Throwaway account: although I've lurked here for a month with my primary account and know a few of your stories. Short version: wife came to me in early December with, "Love you not in love," and wanted a separation. I said I didn't and let's work on it. She said okay. I spent all Christmas season trying to woo her all over again. We have 2 little kids. I wanted to save our family. I love her, and I love them. At first, it was going well. She was totally into it. We made love constantly. She discovered a new kink, she liked being choked during sex. Okay, so I did that. She loved it. Holding hands, cuddling, etc. She even began to say, "I love you too," when I said, "I love you." She's sending me sexy pics of her in a bikini. We go on dates. We do family things, and our kids love it. I start dieting and working out and drop 20 pounds in a month. I'm helping out around the house a ton, we do projects together. We start MC. She said she's so relieved we're working on things. But my gut one day just started screaming. Something is up. Her phone. It's always going off. She's always on it. She never lets it get too far and hides it from me. Some days she's totally distracted and cold. I notice she has developed a nervous twitch in her hands. She's constantly grinding her teeth. This morning, while she was sleeping, I grab her phone and finally snoop. More than 1,000 messages. Some guy far away in a city on the other side of the country. She had gone to that city for work back in October. They met there. He came to our city in November. The month my best friend and his family were killed in a head-on collision, and I was devastated. She had been vague and distant then. No wonder. "You came so hard when you were on my DCK and I choked you," was one of his messages to her. Those sexy pics. Yeah, she was sending them to him too. He's separated with 2 little kids back in his hometown. I wake my wife up. Hand her the phone. "There are some messages for you." I tell her. OSHT. The look on her face. She flips. "I want a divorce," she says. I tell her I'm not leaving this home. She has to go. I take the kids to school. She's gone when I get back. Left a note. She says she'll help me with finances until I'm on my feet. I have a good paying job lined up in May thanks to my college degree I'm about to get. I'm devastated right now. I'm a mess. Kids are home. My son is playing Minecraft and my daughter is happily splashing in a bubble bath. They're asking where mommy is. I tell them she took a little vacation. I know she's actually at her friend's house. Update: thanks everyone for the supportive comments and great advice. It's the end of day 1. I'm not going to say anything stupid like it's a new beginning or things like that. I'm in a daze. I feel so hurt. Anyways, I just wanted to add some updates, as I keep getting the same advice. For starters, I absolutely am going to get tested for STDs. Second, I'm going to see a lawyer, and soon. As a broke student who is now a single father, I qualify for legal aid, which means the government will pay for the lawyers. There's a process and some bureaucracy, but I'm getting on that tomorrow morning. My WW is an immigrant to Canada from Europe. Ukraine, to be exact. I taught English there a long time ago and met her there. We fell in love, dated for a couple of years, married, and then I brought her to my home here in Canada. She's since thrived here, got citizenship and a big cushy job with the federal government. But she has nobody here. No family. Her social network is tenuous at best. Most of her friends are married couples with kids who don't have time to invest in a real friendship. The AP lives on the other side of the North American continent. He has kids of his own and is separated. He's not going to leave them to take a chance with some hussy he met once or twice for a quickie. She's not going to be able to move there with the kids, because she'll get arrested for kidnapping. She left the marital home and left the kids here. She had promised to support me while I went back to college full-time. She has broken that promise. She has nowhere to leave, no one to help her, and she's about to get divorced or APED. I seriously underestimated the extent of mental illness. The affair fog is playing havoc with her. She is seriously in trouble, and as someone who was her husband for 12 years until today, my heart is actually breaking not only for me, but for her. She's going to be in a world of hurt and doesn't even realize it yet. I hate that this is happening. Reader comment: hate to say it, pal, but you're better off without her. Move on, be civil for the kids' sake. Forgiveness will take time, but the sooner you can forgive, the better off you will be. Seek therapy. Hit the gym. Be the best dad you can be. Limit contact as much as possible and just focus on what needs to be done for you and your kids. Original poster, thanks. I've been hitting the gym for a month now and can already see results. I did let myself go over the past couple of years, what with COVID lockdowns and then the stress of school. But when I'm in shape, I am actually a good-looking guy. I am getting back to that now. But EFF, we were married 12 years and I never ever saw this coming. Reader comment, the most important thing now is to secure custody of your kids. You don't want her to take the kids across the country to be with lover boy. Lawyer up and protect yourself. Remember, this was not your fault. This is all on her. I wish you all the best. Original poster, thank you. Fortunately, the laws here in Ontario, Canada are very egalitarian when it comes to children in custody. The default the courts have to start with is 50-50. There must be evidence of abuse or neglect to change that. It is illegal to take children from their familial home. If she tried to hoist them across country, there would be a red alert blasted across everyone's cell phones and she would be arrested and charged with kidnapping. I'm not worried about this part at all. I'm actually in a very good position right now, legally. I'm heading to a lawyer tomorrow. In truth, she's the one who is completely effed. Nowhere to leave, Northwest family or close friends in town, her AP lives on the other side of the continent and he has kids so he's not going to leave for her, and now no comfortably loving family to come home to every night. I sincerely underestimated the depth of her mental illness. Reader comment, please, please, please call a lawyer today and set up an appointment. Let them know when you book it that she has abandoned the house and children. Take out your phone and document the fact that she's gone, the note, everything. You may be able to go for full custody based on child abandonment. Next, call your family doctor and schedule a full STD panel. See if you can schedule a family psychology appointment for you and your kids together to help go through this. Lastly, gather all important financial and health records and store them in a safe place where she can't get access to them. Take half the money out of any joint accounts and remove yourself from them. Credit cards, too. Oh, and call a locksmith. You can't legally keep her out of her own house, but you can make it difficult for her to come and go as she pleases. Original poster, this is all good advice except for the locksmith part. We rent. The funny thing is that for the past couple of years we've been dreaming of buying a home and saving a down payment. We even just talked about it yesterday. We live in an expensive real estate market here in Canada, and while she has a high-paying job, it's gonna be really tough for her to find even a shitty little apartment. I'm actually still forging ahead with my dream of owning a home, albeit without her in it now. Most of my plans and goals remain unchanged. Story 3, I cannot stand the ups and downs of not knowing for sure. TLDR, I think my wife of 24 years had an affair in the past, but it ended. I never did find any concrete proof. Just a lot of circumstantial evidence and an overwhelming gut feeling. First, I caught my wife in a lie. A lie over something so inconsequential that it was comical that she would even lie about it in the first place. The one thing that was helping me get over all our issues was that I didn't think my wife was a good liar. I truly thought that she could never look me in the eye and flat out lie. I was wrong. I called her out immediately with pretty inarguable evidence, but she just dug her heels in more. I was flabbergasted. I actually had a panic attack one day while driving thinking about it. I was a combat Navy pilot that flew in every conflict since 9/11, and this is what gave me a panic attack. Crazy. I finally sit her down and explain how this lie is affecting me. I tell her, if she can lie about the little things, then she can lie about the big things. She finally admits the little lie. But the damage is done. Now that I know she can look me in the eye and lie, I'm wary about everything she says. Jump forward a couple of weeks. My wife starts acting distant and preoccupied. Just like she did right before I was convinced she was having an affair. I'm worried about her, so I try to be extra nice and helpful. One day, she needs to take a bunch of stuff to her school. The stuff is in heavy boxes, and it's actually her birthday, so I volunteer to drive the stuff over in my car and bring them in for her. She says that it would make more sense for me to just give her a ride too. So, we drive together, but the whole time, she is cold and acting nervous. Small things like fidgeting with her hands and not making eye contact. I'm trying not to take it personally. We get to the school, and we walk in together with me carrying one box. I drop it off and head out to get the other box and she goes to walk with me. I tell her she can stay there, I'll get the box. I mean, that was the whole point to me coming. She looks really uncertain and a little annoyed for a moment but ends up staying in her classroom. I walk out the school, and guess who is just hanging around? The guy B, the one guy in my wife's life I have always been suspicious about. Oh, did I mention, my wife made herself up super pretty that day. Surely, this just a coincidence, right? B had to drop off his younger kid at the school. But he could have done it from the car like every other parent. My wife was the one that suggested riding together. But why was she so nervous for such a routine drive? Surely, she wanted to look pretty for her birthday. But man, it was the most effort I've seen her make in a long time. This is what the specter of infidelity and gaslighting do to a person. It makes them question everything, all the time. Even their own sanity. I swallow my insecurities and things get better. One day out of the blue, I have a dream that reminds me of what my wife said to me during one of our lowest points. But before I accused her of cheating. I was watching her get dressed one morning, and she catches me. She says, "I appreciate you looking at me, but sometimes it's just too much." I did not, and still do not, know how to take that. I find her sexy. I want her to know that I find her sexy. Even after 24 years. It wasn't like I was making comments or being rude. I was just watching my wife get dressed. I bring this up to her, but she denies ever saying it. But she goes overboard in love-bombing me the next day, which only makes me even more suspicious about what was going on in her head at the time. Once again, I tell myself, I am crazy and move on. Things get really good by the holidays. But today, after some really good sex, she asks me if I'm going to Hawaii soon. I say, yes, but I don't know when. She asks, it's not this week, is it? I say, no, why? Then she kind of stutters and yammers for an uncomfortable moment. In my head, I'm thinking why she is asking if there isn't some sort of conflict, but I don't say anything. She finally says that it is parent education night at her school. Parents of kids that have graduated come back to tell prospective parents what to expect. Of course, B's oldest daughter was a graduate of my wife's school. So of course, he will be there. So now I'm thinking she is trying to figure out when I will be out of town. And of course, she watches Emily in Paris, which is just full of infidelity. But of course, it all works out in the end because they were chasing their true loves. This is where I'm at. Please tell me I'm crazy. Please tell me I can trust her. I just want to be happy and to trust my wife and live happily ever after. But I am slowly losing my mind. I'm trying to hold it together for my family and everyone that depends on me. But I feel like I'm slowly breaking apart on the inside. Reader comment, how did the other man act when he saw you? I personally IMO think that she's emotionally attached to him and crushing. That's why her appearance and her attitude is changing. If they are emotionally cheating, it sounds like it might get physical when you are gone and probably in your house, but that's my opinion and I am a very suspicious person. If the situation were reversed, she would accuse you of cheating. I would have to find out if she's cheating or going to cheat while you're gone. Professional help is probably needed in this situation, without it you will never know what happens when you're away. It sucks not knowing when you know that it's happening, and you need proof. Good luck. Original poster, he was awkward. He's always awkward around me. That is one of the yellow flags for me. Yeah, I think a PI is in my future. Reader comment, ask her to take a polygraph test about infidelity. Her reaction to being asked, even if she never takes the test, could tell you a great deal. You should investigate polygraph tests if you are interested in actually having her take one. They might help get her to confess or, if she really isn't doing anything, give you some peace of mind. If she asks why you want her to take one, say that it's because you've been having bad feelings and want her to take one, because if she can truthfully answer that she hasn't cheated on you for a polygraph test, it will put your mind at ease. Original poster, I feel that if I ask for a poly, and she isn't cheating, then I will have crossed a line. She'll never forgive me, and I will have ruined my marriage for nothing. Reader comment, I think you're overthinking it. We can always find what we want if we look hard enough. I doubt she's hooking up with a guy at the school. Now if she was going out at night, staying late to work and taking vacations with friends, I'd say you're into something, but she's not. My wife died slot of the same stuff and she's 100% loyal to me. If you get some text, emails, pics or other evidence, then you can confront her. Otherwise, you're just accusing without any hard evidence and going to cause problems. Original poster, good points. I don't think she's hooking up at school. But I am afraid they are talking there. You hit the nail on the head. I have no proof at all, and I've looked. She's really smart though, and I think she could get away with it if she wanted. I just have this intense feeling gnawing inside of me.